Hi everyone, my name is Lottie and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be giving you guys 6 ways to lose your confidence as a photographer. So these are not what we want to do, guys, okay? We do not want to go down this path. So number one of the quickest ways to lose your confidence as a photographer is to do the constant comparison. That's when you're scrolling on Instagram all day, looking at photographers' work, saying, oh my gosh, I'm not as great as them. Looking at your friends and other people who you know who do photography. Maybe you guys started around the same time and you're, feeling like you're behind or feeling like you are not on their level. You're going to be pretty much comparing yourself to other people, and this is going to lead to a lot of self doubt, which is not good. And whenever you are doing the constant comparison, you're going to get in your head so much that you're not even going to be able to do anything. And even the simple things that you already know how to do, you might start messing up just because you are in your head so bad. Okay. So you don't want to do that. So that's going to be number one, constant comparison. Get out of that. It's negative. We don't want negativity at all. The second way you can lose your confidence as a photographer is setting unrealistic goals for yourself. So this kind of still goes on to, you thinking about where everybody else is at. Think about where you are now and how far you have come. That's all you want to think about. So if you are setting unrealistic goals, saying, oh, by, let's just say that is August, and you say, okay, by September, I'm going to be shooting just like, maybe a photographer who's been shooting for like over 10 years. I'm going to be editing just as great as them. Those are unrealistic goals. And with the setting of unrealistic goals, you're really kind of defeating yourself. Photography is a journey, it's not a race. So you want to make sure that you are able to go and look at, all the great things that you've done, your improvement from, point A to point B, and how you're going to get to point C. Always remember to set achievable goals, be patient with yourself, and celebrate those small victories. So, the third way to lose your confidence as a photographer is having the fear of failure. So, if you are already in your head so much about, I don't want to fail or I don't want to look stupid and da 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 da, like you're not going to go anywhere. So, when you are too fearful, most of the time you don't even get started. So we want to make sure that we are not stopping ourselves due to fear. And also know that if you are always, stressed out about making mistakes, one, you're not thinking clearly. And two, you're never going to be able to take the risk that you need in order to continue to grow. Like photography is all about growing. It's all about experimenting. If you don't get it right the first time, you do it again. If you're in a different scenario or a different situation, everything that you learn could go out the window. But what have you done in the past in order to keep yourself confident? So make sure that you are not kind of like on pins and needles thinking, oh, I'm just going to fail, I'm just going to fail. So if you have that mind frame, you're already lost. The fourth way that you guys can lose your confidence as a photographer is if you have the perfectionism spirit in you, which I would say I actually carry that myself. Like I want it to be so perfect, but I had to understand and learn that my want and my need to be perfect at everything really was stopping me, and it was really hindering my confidence as a photographer. So we want to make sure that we understand that nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to have our ups and our downs, and it's just a learning process. It's a journey. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. So just go out and do what makes you happy. And always know that striving for perfection is going to lead to headaches. It's going to lead to frustration. And what happens when you're frustrated? You don't produce, you don't do anything. So the ways to combat that, as always, just continue to work. So the best way to get out of that perfectionism spirit is to just embrace any mistakes that you have as a learning opportunity. You don't grow if you're not making mistakes, and you're not growing if you're not experimenting. The fifth way to kill your confidence as a photographer is the lack of continued education. We definitely have YouTube University that everyone should be enrolled into. You'll always want to make sure that you are staying up on the knowledge of what's going on in the community. So photography is always ever changing. There's new things coming out. You don't want to be stagnant in this photography world. Learn how to shoot with different lighting settings, learn how to do the new techniques that people are doing, keeping it creative. So you want to always make sure that you are doing your continued learning. And if you're into very high end skin editing, buy some courses, maybe figure out what people are doing in order to have their photos look the way that you possibly want your photos to look. The last way that you can kind of kill your confidence as a photographer is ignoring your own personal style. So what does that mean? That means that if you particularly like, maybe photos with more grain in it, but you realize that people online are not shooting the photos with grain in it, you still shoot your photos with grain in it. That's what you like. That's what makes you happy. If you like, maybe very saturated images, and you're like, oh my gosh, I think my photos look too orange or they too saturated. If that's your style, that's your style. People are going to gravitate towards you if they like that. So I just feel like you should always be true to your style. If you enjoy doing certain things, if you enjoy like weird perspectives and angles, continue to do that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are feeling empowered. So these are 6 things that we don't want to fall into because we don't want to lose our confidence as a photographer. So if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe to this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.